You are taking a live look over Harrisburg. What a difference a day makes. Just a few hours ago on this weather-worn day, things look a lot different than right now. The worst of the storm has moved out, but tonight we are dealing with aftermath of Remnants of Debby. So much destruction to talk about today on this weather-worn day. I'm Joel D. Smith. I am here in Harrisburg on Rudy Road, and this big tree behind me snapped in half. Probably been here for decades, but far from the worst you'll see, which I'll show you in just a second. Back to you.
Plus, the destruction is widespread. Skyview 21 flying over Harrisburg. And this is the damage on Market Street. Trees on the road, cars and houses. The cleanup is just beginning. And take a look at this. A local church nearby destroyed by the severe weather. This is inside the Brethren Church in Harrisburg. We'll take you out there, too, with how people are still keeping their faith. Thank you for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Jasmine Brooks alongside all our reporters tonight. You saw Joel D. Smith live in Harrisburg. He is anchoring our team coverage tonight as we take a look at the big impact Debby's remnants are leaving on our area. We're going to start, though, with meteorologist Tom Russell. Tom, are we mostly in the clear now?
Yeah, we sure are after a very rough morning and a rough day through the afternoon here as well. So things now improving. Let's go ahead and show you what's left of any watches and warnings. They're all into the northeast part of the state. As you see here, still some rain falling in Scranton, but especially over to the east. So yes, for the most part, we are finished with any severe weather. We do still have a couple of showers. You're going to notice the strong storms move off to the east, but then we have a couple of showers working their way from west to east across the area. So that'll be the last of the rain, but we'll still have that chance for a shower over the next hour or so. Then we'll clear things out for a very nice weekend. I wanted to show you this, though. This is a look at where the heaviest rain fell since last night, and you'll notice all that rain coming up from Maryland, working its way through York County, then into Harrisburg. 4, 5, 6, even 7 inches in some of those spots. That's why we still have the residual flooding. Here comes a nice weekend, though. Tonight we'll take it down to 66. What you notice tomorrow is the humidity drops dramatically. So low 80s, but it'll feel great. Nice and cool at night. And then Sunday, lots of sunshine and 81. So let's take a look at how things are going outside. Our very own Joel D. Smith continues anchoring our team coverage in Harrisburg. Joel D., what are you seeing?
Tell you what, we're seeing a lot of damage here. This guy's a roof inspection coming by because a lot of the trees ended up on roofs. And some of the things that were supposed to be on the ground ended up in the air. Look up here behind me. That is a trampoline. I mean, a worst nightmare. That thing comes off the ground. They are definitely usually anchored in somehow. No match for the force of the wind that came through here and then punctured that with one of the tree limbs that came through. I'll bring you back to the end of the road right here. As we come up Rudy Road, there is just destruction everywhere. The sound of chainsaws in the background and so many people working just to try to get this material out of the way so then maybe they can get back to recovery mode. I'll take you to this backyard right here. You can see so many branches are down and they're leaning on top of that awning right there. They got to cut all those out before they can get back to some form of normalcy. And then you see this other tree is in this side of the house. I'll make your way down even a little bit further. That stop sign, no match for the wind, the rain, and all the branches. And then down the street you see another utility vehicle trying to get the power back on. Power is off in this neighborhood as it is in so many places that were affected by all of this. And we were told by some of the workers here that it's going to take a number of hours, maybe into tomorrow, to be able to make this happen and get everything back to normal again. But once again, so much destruction in this area. And it's not the only spot either. So let's talk about some other areas as well. We've seen a series of damage in multiple spots of Dauphin County, like this warehouse right here that was nearly destroyed in Swatara Township. And Midtown Cinema says it will also be closed for an extended period of time because of the storm. Officials say there is water damage throughout the theater and that they're also trying to get hire a restoration company to come through. Of course, those folks are busy right now, not knowing how long it will take to restore all this. You'll hear from the manager of that theater coming up at 6 o'clock. But to learn more about this, we want to find out what some of our reporters around town are learning. TJ Anthony, he's in Harrisburg, a church that was severely damaged. He has the latest from there. TJ.
Yeah, Joel D. So right now I'm live outside of Harrisburg Brethren Church of Christ. Just take a look at what the staff was welcomed to when they showed up to church today. You can see parts of the roof just on the ground, really destroyed by that strong system we saw overnight. But that's not the only area of the roof impacted. Let's go ahead and walk over here. So you can see a large chunk of this roof is now on the HVAC system of the church. And now we're not going to show you this yet, but if you look across the street, we'll probably show you later on in the show. You can see a large chunk of that roof is in someone's yard as well. But first, I want my photographer to just zoom in up there to that portion of the roof. Now you can see it's really not covered. It's pretty exposed. There's no tarp up there. So that means all that rain that we've seen on and off throughout the day is going inside that building. That's where I want to take you next. Let's go ahead and bring you inside so you can see the water is still dripping inside the building. Now, a pastor with the church tells me their office equipment, their classrooms, those are now damaged. Right now, they're working with the insurance to really assess the damage and see what parts of the building that they could use.
We also have drop ceiling, and so because of the drop ceiling, the rain that's coming in is sitting and all of that's falling.
And now the sanctuary was not damaged, thankfully, but like I said before, they're still working to figure out what parts of the building that they could use. And I'll have another live report coming up soon. Joel G, back to you.
Just be like, what do you mean? Like, ask for clarification.
All right, thank you so much, TJ.
All right, it's gonna
All right,
come
now
back.
we want to go a little further south and find out what's happening in Adams and also in York County. For that, we go to Elise Person dealing with some flooding there. Elise.
Hi, Joel D. Well, it was the Conewago Creek here in Adams County that has completely devastated some homes. This here is Conewago Drive behind me here. This road obviously completely shut down. We saw emergency crews actually driving down around 11:30 this morning, blocking off these roads. Since then, it has pretty significantly dropped back. I want to bring you this way to show you how high this water was, though, at some point, all the way up here. I mean, look where the debris was at some point. We spoke with neighbors throughout the day, but you know, some people said, hey, we're used to it. We live among the creek. Sometimes it overflows. This happens twice a year. But other people tell us, no, this is very, very devastating to me in my home. I also want to show you how high the water levels were next to these houses. So you can see this house in blue right here. If you come over this way, you can see where the water level was along this house, and in some houses it was even higher. So earlier today we were actually doing our noon live hit for our CBS 21 News at noon, and somebody had driven past us and said, hey, the water back there is so high, I just tried to pick up my daughter. Listen to this soundbite he told us.
We were going back to pull my son's car and my son-in-law's car out because it was sitting in the water, stuck. The water's almost up over the hood. So we got back to the house. Shouldn't have went through the water, but we did, and it was, I think, at its deepest point, a little over 3 feet. So kind of scary. Never do it again.
And crews reiterate over and over, do not drive through high water. But I really want to show you how tall that water was when he was driving through. His rearview mirror was at my shoulder, and you could see the water along the side of his truck, how high he was driving through. He said, I'll never do that again. That was really scary. But again, make sure you're not driving through any standing water. But Joel D, I'll send it back to you.
Wow, what a story. Thanks a lot, Elise, for sharing that with us, and obviously some great advice for everyone out there. And we also want to know what kind of flooding could be happening in Cumberland County. For that, Maxine Rose has been taking a look at the conditions there. Maxine.
Yeah, Joel D, I want you to take a look behind me here at the yellow breaches here. You can see that the water is just rapidly moving. I don't know if you can hear the sound from here, but it is very, very loud. And you can also see that there's some debris in the water. You can see, I want to show you over here, you can see there's a piece of wood just coming down over the dam here. And so we spoke with someone just about a half hour ago, with someone from PA American Water, who was watching the water out here, making sure that there were no issues. He said that the debris could cause some backup and impede the water from flowing. Take a listen to what he had to say.
When water gets up like this, stay out of the streams and the creeks. You can see from the debris in the creek, as it's going over, it's just rolling in that backwash current. It doesn't go anywhere. So it's a good safety lesson to learn that, stay out of the creeks and rivers when things start to get this high.
And there's a huge log that actually just came right there, just as you were listening to the man from PA American Water there. This water is so fast, and you can see over there too, it's really coming up on the surface here. So again, just want to reiterate that if anyone is coming out here, that you're really being careful. And we'll also hear more from that man who is out here just watching as we learn a little bit more and talk a little bit more about the consequences of something like this. Joel D., I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Maxine. Our reporter's doing a great job giving you a feel for what actually happened and is still happening, and that's what we will do for the next hour as well. Stay with us. But for now, we will send it into the studio. Jasmine, back to you.
Let's talk about power. Joel D., thanks so much. Some out for many across the area. You can see the outage map behind me. This is our region in Dauphin County. More than 3,000 right now without power. And then that is from multiple providers. Perry County, okay, York County seeing high numbers, so more than 2,900 in Perry County without power right now, and then down in York County across the region we're talking even more. So if you're one of them, hopefully that will be figured out soon. Let's go to traffic, see what the roads are like now.
Here's a look at the area roadways from the Hackman Smart Roof Traffic Alert Center.
Well, even as the rain moves away, traffic's still affected by the flooding. So I want to start you here on the West Shore. We're closed along 11 and 15 as you get up past Perdix there. That is where we're slowed or closed down. So that's why you see all the red there on the 11 and 15 on the West Shore. Also slow go on 81 South as you head towards Wirtsville. You see that. Let me take you to 147 real quick. That is also flooded, so they're going to allow folks to use 225 in the meantime until that flooding clears up. That's a quick look at your CBS 21 traffic report. Jasmine, back over to you.
Thanks, Tom. Remember, you can always stay ahead of the storms by simply downloading the CBS 21 weather app, scan the QR code on your screen, or find it in your phone's app store by searching CBS 21 WX. Our weather app is sponsored by PSECU. We have been getting incredible pictures throughout the day of the storm damage across central Pennsylvania. We'll tell you what your neighbors are seeing and pictures that you all at home are sending us to the newsroom. And as we head to break, a live look at some of the flooding that people are dealing with in York and Adams County. And we are keeping you updated on what it looks like all over central Pennsylvania. I'm here at the tag port. We're going to go ahead and check out this video because this is dramatic. It says that storm whooped Harrisburg. Thankfully, no one was hurt. You can see the tree coming right out of the ground all the way over, its roots sticking up in the air. Let's go to another one. Wow, that is going to take some time to clean up. As we go to the next photo, this one, it says possible tornado damage in Harrisburg from the early morning hours. Again, I believe that's the warehouse. Is that the warehouse in Swatera that we were covering? Let's go to the next one here. You can see this. Okay, the flood water is just washing down that street. This is from our own Ed Russo. He says lots of runoff still occurring in Lower Allen Township. Thanks, Ed, for sending in that. Let's go over to Tom now.
Yeah, you know what? We're still tracking a few light rain showers here right along Route 15 this afternoon. So we're almost done with all the rain. But even as the rain ends, the flooding continues. Let's show you some more pictures from what we've been watching this afternoon as the cleanup continues from all the storm damage from Debby. Stay with us. Your first morning forecast straight ahead.
Our weather warn day coverage continues as we are watching the aftermath of severe weather. Our crews scattered around central Pennsylvania, and we're seeing flooding in southern York and Adams County, for example. A local church heavily damaged right in Harrisburg. And Joel D. Smith is looking at some of the damage in other parts of the city as well. So let's begin with him. Joel D.
Yeah, one of the neighborhoods here in Harrisburg, there are trees down all over the place. That means you need an expert to figure out what to do next. I got Joe here from Titan Tree Service. They're actually based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I've been kind of following the storm for a bit. What are the first things that a homeowner should look at if they have this mess in their yard?
First is get a couple bids from companies, but also the cheapest is not always the best. Make sure they have insurance, licensed, and they're bonded. Also, a company that cares and not just does the insurance work and takes the insurance money.
Okay.
Somebody that will come and clean up and treat their property like if it's their own.
Well, but here's the thing. You don't want to pay in advance. You told me that. Yeah. That's a good advice. How much can be cleaned up at the first day just to at least just get stuff out of the way?
A lot of people will get the stuff that's imminent, like stuff on the roof, the stuff on the driveway, the stuff that's an emergency, because they have a list of people they try to take care of.
Right.
And then as cleanup progresses, you can do the rest, removing trees, taking stuff down. But there's several ways to do it. You can do a full cleanup, which during a time like this, it gets a little bit more expensive.
I bet it does.
What I would do is just pay somebody to put it on the curb, because cities officials, they do pick up if it's an emergency enough.
Good to know. Good to know. Hey, thank you very much.
Hey,
and appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy.
Hey, no
so that's
worries.
just a little bit of an idea of what could happen in your neighborhood. But we also want to see what's happening at some bigger places like a church, and that's where TJ Anthony is right now in a different part of the city. TJ.
Yeah, so Joel D right now is able to give you a closer look at that church's damage, but now I want to give you a wider angle. So let's go ahead and pan over there just so you can see the full extent of that damage. You can see pretty much the entire roof was affected by this, and still there's no tarp on that roof. So the on and off showers that are happening, they are now, they're going into the building and impacting that as well. Now, if you come over here, you can see part of that roof blew all the way over here across Dairy Street, over on the sidewalk, even into someone's lawn. That's a house up there. And if you look even further down, you can see that tree branches, they are snapped in half. Just zoom in over there so you can see that. And just take a look at all this damage right here as well. So we know the church had to cut the power. They also cut the gas too. And they're working with the insurance company to sort through what's going through next. And also business owners up and down Dairy Street, they tell me that they lost power. So they had to halt business for hours. Now, thankfully, they do have power, so they are able to take customers as well. Now, let's go ahead and send it over to Elise and for what's going on right now over there, Elise.
Hi, TJ. Well, some families around this area tell me this flood has been completely devastating for them. I want to show you this car just over here. We actually spoke with the owner of this vehicle, and she said she has two cars, one of which she was able to get out. This one, though, she tried to move. She couldn't get it done. She said this flood, like I said, devastating is the word she used. But, I mean, this road has been shut down throughout majority of the day. But others here in the neighborhood tell me, hey, we live along the creek. Sometimes this flooding happens. It's not all that uncommon. To the fact where we actually saw someone pull up, they got out of their car, they put their waders on, and they start walking home from work, lunchbox in hand. So some people were more prepared than others for this flood, but the weather has drastically changed in just the past 30 minutes here in Adams County. Gray skies, so I'll send it over to Tom Russell, who tells us a little bit more what's happening across our area.
Well, it is some good news. Thank you for that report, Elise. But you can see the residual flooding that continues. So long after the rain ends, you're still dealing with that flooding. And that's what we're seeing on the West Shore. This is the one creek that's really been feeling all the rain, just kind of soaking it all in. Yellow breaches near Camp Hill. We had Maxine show you how it looked before. We're over flood stage. Flood stage is 7 feet. That's what you see on the right there. But we are cresting now at about 9.7, so just shy of 10 feet. And that is going to continue to hold that crest for another couple of hours tonight and then slowly work its way down as we work our way through the weekend. Can we do that Magic TV thing that we do? That would be very helpful. Let's take a look at the Susquehanna River in Harrisburg, now at 6 feet. Now remember, the large rivers, the large bodies of water lag a little bit, so all that rain that comes down from the north and all the stuff that flows into the Susquehanna will result in a crest of about 15.2, but not until Sunday, maybe even Monday. Flood stage is 17 feet, so it's high, but below flood stage, which is good news. Muggy meter is the important information this weekend because it drops. We're dropping that humidity dramatically as we get into tomorrow. So by tomorrow night, Sunday, and even into next week, it feels amazing. It feels like fall because you drop that humidity. Just when you thought we were done with the rain, this pops up. Rain showers from Halifax all the way down to about Gettysburg. Nothing real heavy here, but it's insult to injury from what we've already seen. So let's take a little closer look here. A couple of showers in Adams County, portions of York County. Heavy rain here as you get up past Marysville towards Duncannon. Won't last long, but it's the last thing we need right now. Possible tornado. I think the National Weather Service is going to look at this, where Joel D is in town. So about from maybe 19th Street up to about 28th Street, right through Bellevue Park. That's where a lot of that damage was. So a survey will probably happen over this weekend. So the rain moves out, the last of any showers here, and then we clear things out for a beautiful weekend. And notice this. Remember, it's the middle of August. Look how we put a big dent in all that hot stuff. Hot stuff down towards Atlanta and Charlotte, but not for us as we keep it nice and cool. So clear your skies tonight. We're turning cooler. Watch out for a little patchy fog, mid-60s. Check it out. Here's your 7-day forecast, and we're looking great. Sunshine, low humidity, 83 tomorrow. I think the most important one is 60 at night. Is that going to feel great or what? Nice on Sunday, sunshine, 81, and we keep it going. Jasmine, look at this 7-day. Seriously, look. Are you looking?
I'm looking.
In the 80s, it's going to be beautiful for a week. And that's what you need after a lot of rain like this. We need a chance to dry things out.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things we're seeing out there.
Oh, it's just it's heartbreaking. It really is.
All right, our weather worn day coverage continues. Coming up, more sights of today with the remnants of Debby.
Like where this trampoline came from that got stuck at at the top of the tree.
It is a weather-worn day, and this is why. Look at this. Water still rising on the yellow breaches in Cumberland County. We've been dealing with this. Plus, this is a live look right now at the creek conditions. It is expected to crest later tonight. And then look at this video here. Our crew surveying the damage and talking to people right in Harrisburg. Yes, that is a trampoline stuck in the tree. It was along Rudy Road in the city, and this is just some of the damage in that area. Here's another look, this time from Market Street. Skyview 21 showing us multiple trees falling in the area through this morning on roads, even on cars and homes. Authorities have not reported any injuries from the damage. Officials have been working throughout the day to try and clean up as well. And next, we're going to take you back live to the damage across the region. A Harrisburg church nearly destroyed. The senior pastor speaks with TJ Anthony with how this could affect services this weekend. And we're also live in Adams County. People there are dealing with serious flooding in East Berlin. Our Elise Person talks to those who say their houses were underwater twice.
Live from central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News at 5:30.
Tropical storm Debby moving through central PA. This is a live look over Harrisburg. We're already seeing the worst of the storm's remnants, and now several counties are picking up the pieces. Thanks for joining us at 5:30. I'm Jasmine Brooks. The remnants of Debby led to major flooding across the region. Thanks, Jean, for sending in this one. This is actually Route 15 in Cumberland County, and so many vehicles struggled to get through the floodwaters here. We do have live team coverage tonight across central PA, but first, Chief Meteorologist Tom Russell.
And thanks, Jasmine. And all good news from our department as things have already moved off to the east. So there's no more real threat. We do have a couple of showers. Let's start you with what's left over of any watches. And all those are over towards the eastern PA. You see that in green here. And then the tornado warnings, that's the yellow, or tornado watches, I should say, into New York and beyond. So notice nothing happening here in central PA. But I say that cautiously because we do have a lot of areas that are still seeing some flooding left over from the storms that passed through. We even have a few showers passing through the last of the rain. You'll see this little line right in here. See that? So just approaching Harrisburg up towards Marysville, a little bit wet towards Duncannon as well. That's the last of the rain. After that, things will clear out for a very nice weekend. I want to show you this graphic here real quick, if it will hopefully load in here, where we saw all that very heavy rainfall. It was basically a bullseye right up the center of the gut from Hanover, coming out of Maryland, Hanover through Dover, through Harrisburg and beyond. And when you see those orange and reds, this is 4, 5, 6-inch totals here all the way up the gut. So that's where a lot of that rain fell, especially on the west shore. It's a comfy weekend. We're going to slowly clear things out tonight. 66. The big story is the humidity drop. So beautiful over Saturday and Sunday, and cool at night as well. All right, so that's the path where Debby is going. She's moving off to the east. Let's send it out to Joel D. Smith, who joins us live to see how Central PA is dealing with the aftermath. Joel D.
There is a lot to deal with, Tom. Normally, if I just showed you a branch this big, we would say, hey, there was a lot of damage, but it is nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. Look at this root, bigger than me, to give you a feel for just how much material had to be moved here. And then we go up, and it's a sad story for the homeowners here. This huge tree crushes across this roof, knocking out the chimney on the way. And look how big it is. The middle of the tree is what actually hit this home. So a lot of weight, a lot of pressure still on the roof in this area. And as we come back down again, you can see a piece of that chimney crashing to the ground and broken right there. A lot of people in Recovery Road right now. We're on 22nd and Swatera Street. We've talked to these people. They said this is unbelievable. For myself, I've been covering things like this for more than 25 years right now. This is definitely in the top 2 or 3 things I've covered in terms of the the power and the intensity of the storm that came through. As you look around a little bit more, it's recovery mode time. You hear a lot of chainsaws and drills in the background, and people are trying to clean up what they can before they assess how much damage there is and eventually get into the mode of cleanup, but then also recovery, which includes insurance. So this is the damage part of the story. There's also a flooding part of the story, and to do that now, we headed to Elise Person.
Hi, Joel D. I mean, 25 minutes ago where I'm standing, it was blue skies, and now it's downpour rain. I'm right along the Conewago Creek in Adams County, and this is Conewago Drive behind me. I mean, you can see here, this is a road that people were attempting to drive down earlier today. I want to show you over to my left. This is someone's car, and I was told that the heaviest point of rain and flooding today, that car was almost completely underwater. If you look a little further into the distance, that's a pickup truck that got stuck back there. We spoke with neighbors throughout the day. Some said, hey, this has been devastating. Others, though, say, we live along the creek. We deal with this time and time again, year after year, to the fact where I saw somebody coming home from work. They put their waders on, grabbed their lunchbox, and walked right down this road you're looking at and just went home, just like it was another day. But we spoke with some who said this happens, like I said, on a bi-yearly, annual basis. Take a listen.
We were going back to pull my son's car and my son-in-law's car out, because it was sitting in the water, stuck. The water's almost up over the hood. So we got back to the house. Shouldn't have went through the water, but we did, and it was, I think, at its deepest point, a little over 3 feet. So kind of scary. Never do it again.
So actually who you just heard from is somebody who was actually driving down this way to come pick up his son-in-law and daughter. He said that the water was so high on his pickup truck, it was to his rearview mirror, which for a little bit of what you can tell, that was as high as my shoulder. So I'm going to send it over to TJ now, TJ Anthony, who's in Harrisburg, with a little bit more of what the damage looks like over in Dauphin County. Hey, TJ.
Yeah, Elise, right now, Harrisburg Brethren Church of Christ Church was damaged a lot. You can see there's wood on the ground, there's pieces of metal still on the ground, so there's small pieces here that really are throughout the area. And if you look over to my right, you can see there's a large piece of the roof is off, just on the ground, on the HVAC system. And if my photographer can just pan up to the portion of that building that you can see is clearly exposed, you can see rain that's been on and off all day can just come inside the building, and it has been coming inside the building, and it's now caused water damage inside the church's classrooms and even office equipment there. Now, Hank Johnson, he is a senior pastor at this church. He told me normally they get around 400 people that come a weekend, but he says they may have to pause Sunday services for now, even though the sanctuary does not have damage. They're waiting on a structural engineer to go ahead and assess the building so they can figure out what parts of the building they have access to. But he is thankful that no one was hurt.
We also have drop ceiling, and so because of the drop ceiling, the rain that's coming in is sitting and all that's falling.
And now a lot of the church's programs are now put on pause, and those programs are to really help the community. So I'll give you a list of what programs are put on pause. That's all coming up next at 6. Until then, I'm going to toss it over to my colleague Maxine.
Hey TJ, yeah, we're over here in Cumberland County at the Yellow Breaches. I just want you to take a look here. What we know so far, and when I just spoke with our meteorologist Ed Russo about a few moments ago, that this is at 9.82 inches and it's still climbing, hasn't crested just yet, but safe to say certainly that it is still rising. You can see it's kind of coming up all the way over onto the surface here. Now, just a few moments ago, we were speaking with the production supervisor with PA American Water, and he said that he was out here monitoring the water flow out here, how rapidly it's moving, making sure that he's looking at the debris. And he said, luckily, this is something that it's not necessarily new, that they've seen something like this before in the past. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I think back in December of 22, the creek was a lot higher. It was actually up over our wall over there at our intake. So this isn't too bad. This isn't, the good thing is creeks were low, rivers were low. We had a lot of room to put water.
And I just want to reiterate here, you can see how high up this is coming here. There's a lot of patches of water on this surface here. It's coming up all the way, 9.82 feet here and still rising, but luckily we know that it will be going down over the weekend. For now, I'll send it back to you, Joel D.
Thank you very much, Maxine. There you go, folks. A good idea of what's happened all around our region. So many people affected by the weather. And now, Tom, as I send it back to you, people here are wondering, we're in cleanup mode, and while we're cleaning up, what's the weather going to be like moving forward, too?
Here's a look at the area roadways from the Hackman Smart Roof Traffic Alert Center.
Yeah, we do have a few showers pushing through. That's not helping, but it's the last of the rain that we're seeing just now. Here's a look at the, I want to show you Route 15, 11 and 15 as you work your way along the West Shore has been closed because of flooding as you get past Perdix there. So that's also affecting I-81 South. So you see a lot of red there on the West Shore. The other big problem is flooding now on Route 147. As you know, 225 has been closed for some work, and now they're going to open 225 because they have to close 147. So bottom line, getting from Harrisburg up to Halifax and those areas is a little bit of a slow go this afternoon. That's a look at your CBS 21 traffic report. And remember, you can stay ahead of the storms by downloading the free CBS 21 weather app. Scan that QR code on your screen or find it there in your phone's app store by searching CBS 21 WX. Our weather app is sponsored by PSECU. Jasmine, back to you.
Well, Tom, as Central PA deals with the aftermath of Debby, the remnants of the storm are moving up north. We'll tell you how Lackawanna County is dealing with Debby and how the rest of northeastern PA is feeling from the storm. And we'll continue our weather warn day coverage for the rest of the block. You're looking live at flooding out in Adams County. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take you live to Dauphin County now as we continue our weather warn day coverage. You know, Central PA is not the only part of the Commonwealth trying to brave the elements. Jake Sarwar from our sister station live now from Lackawanna County. So how are things looking in northeastern PA, Jake?
Yeah, Jasmine, it definitely was a busier day weather-wise earlier, but seems that things have kind of subsided as of now. But earlier today in South Abington Township, the Bailey Street Bridge was closed due to the remnants of Debby. Summit Lake Creek at the intersections of Bailey Street and Shady Lane Road began to spill over onto the bridge early Friday afternoon, even knocking over some of the barriers there, making the bridge impassable by car. Local police and public works were on scene working to clear logs and rocks off the roadway and were able to do so, but have still kept the bridge closed. Now, County Commissioner Chris Shermack calls on the state and federal government to assist the county during these nasty storms.
We're trying to do everything that we can do along with PEMA, and we had FEMA here too. But I think it's time for them to, knuckle down and give us a hand here.
Now, other residents that I spoke to that live in the community just up the street there were telling me that they remember just about a year ago, September 9th of 2023, when a similar type of storm came and knocked out part of that bridge there. It also claimed the life of a 61-year-old woman from Clark Summit who unfortunately drowned in her car trying to escape when the roadway became too flooded. For now, though, Jasmine, back up to you in the studio.
All right, Jake Sarwar, thank you very, very much. Let's go over to Tom Russell now.
The last thing we need is any more rain, but we have a decent little storm that's moved out of Duncannon, now pushing through Dauphin County. Take a look here. It's headed towards Fort Indian Town Gap as you work your way into Lebanon County. Won't last long, but we don't see or don't need any more rain. Your first warning forecast coming up.
Central PA dealing with the aftermath of a tropical storm, and we are declaring today a weather warn day. Our coverage continues now with our crews out throughout the entire region. Maxine Rose is checking out several flooded creeks in Cumberland County. Meanwhile, Elise Person looking at the damage up here in Adams County, flooding, of course. But we're going to start with our anchor, Joel D. Smith, live in Harrisburg.
Yeah, a lot of people here believe this has to be a tornado because of how indiscriminate the damage was. This side of the street, I mean, hardly anything, and there's huge trees. What a story it is on the other side, unfortunately. Caleb, luckily on the right side of the street on this one, but it sounded crazy last night, right?
Yeah, it was about 4:30. Winds just picked up. There had been normal winds for a little while that I've heard before, and then it just started screaming. I heard noises outside, and came outside, and this is what we've got.
Probably one of the big noises was this one right here.
That's
Huge tree right across the driveway, hit a few cars. And when you look at how tall these trees are, let's like pan up a little bit here just to give people the feel of this. This thing could have come across the street into your house.
Yeah, I know. There were trees everywhere, so it's been a pretty wild morning.
Yeah, and now it's in cleanup mode for those folks. What do you think about this, believing how close you could have came to some of this damage and danger?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We were very blessed today to have the outcome that we had at our home, and there's a lot of other people that didn't have that. We're thankful that we were spared today, and I pray that everybody throughout the road here specifically, I feel like Bellevue got hit pretty hard.
Right.
So I hope that the area can clean up quickly.
All right, we're praying for them as well. Thanks for your time, on.
Yeah.
Glad you turned out okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we'll keep showing you more of this area and things that are happening here, but this entire region's been hit pretty hard. So let's go to Maxine Rose now, who has a different part of the story.
Yeah, Joel D, right now you can see obviously it's raining now. It's really coming down. And take a look at what it looks like on the water here. You can see how quick moving this all is. And you can also see that there's also some debris kind of falling into the water here. You can also see just really how much is obstructing the way of the dam there. You can see that big branch that's been there for quite some time now since we've stepped out here. I just want to remind you all, I'm going to come down here so you can really see, first of all, how quickly really it's coming up onto the surface, but also how high up it's coming. So it's about 9.82 feet. Now we'll come back later and I'll show you a little bit more about what people in the area are saying, but for now I'll send it back to Elise.
So I'm here on Conewago Drive in Adams County, East Berlin, and you can see this right here. I mean, roadways have been shut down for majority of the day, but I want to take you over this way to where you can really get a look at the creek. If you look a little farther in the distance where the creek is moving very swiftly, that's actually where the creek is supposed to flow. But then when you come out a little bit further, you can see it's now moved into people's backyards. There was at some point we saw a couch actually being floated down the creek. It was an outdoor couch someone had, not brought inside, but there was furniture moving. Cars have gotten stuck. We spoke with neighbors who said this has just been devastating. But then on the flip side, we also spoke with some people who said, hey, we've been dealing with this. We live on the creek and, they know how to handle this. So all in all, I mean, like I said, this road has been shut down from the majority of part of today. But for now, I'll send it back to you in the studio. We'll continue to bring you updates here from Adams County.
And now, CBS 21 News First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tom Russell.
All right, thanks, Elise. Kind of wild to watch here. 20 minutes ago it was pouring rain. Now the sun shines back. This should be the last of the rainfall. I'll show you that in a second. But I want to start with our highest creek, and that's the Yellow Breeches Creek near Camp Hill. Of course, this is where we're measuring at 9.8. Now, the good news is we are cresting here at just shy of 10 feet. So it's still going to be high as we head into the weekend, but will slowly recede. Flood stages on the right-hand side of your screen, 7 feet. And you saw how fast that creek was moving when Maxine was showing you those pictures. So we're cresting now again at 9.8, just under 10 feet. Please be careful around our waterways. Now the big guy, the Susquehanna River at Harrisburg, that lags. That takes 2 or 3 days to see a crest. So we're at 6 feet now, headed toward a crest of 15.2. Flood stage, of course, for the Susquehanna River at Harrisburg is 17. So we'll come in just under that, but it's going to be moving very, very swiftly. So be careful around our waterways. Here's some great news. The mugginess, the humidity is still humid if you've been outside this evening. It's dropping. So as we get into tomorrow, Sunday, and into next week, low humidity. I've been telling you, it's going to feel like fall. It's going to be amazing. Got to get past these last couple of showers here. Here's Harrisburg. We got showers extending down towards York, headed towards that I-83 corridor. These are moving pretty quickly, and as we showed you with Elise, they should be getting out of the way pretty quickly. Here's I-83. Here's York. So some showers from about East Berlin over towards Spring Grove. So they're going to continue to move east. This is the heavier rain here in Dauphin County. This is I-81 and Route 22 as you work your way into Lebanon County. A little bit wet there. So again, nothing lasts too long. Now, where did that possible tornado hit? That's what Joel D was showing you, right in the heart of Harrisburg. So generally this was the path. We don't have this official yet. From about 19th Street to about 28th Street, right smack in the middle is Bellevue Park. So it was right in this area that we saw all those huge trees get toppled there. And they'll probably do a survey this weekend, National Weather Service, to see if it was indeed a tornado. The nasty stuff continues to move up into New England. We get this out of the way and look at this cool air. Does that look like an August weather map? It's going to be really nice this weekend. So clearing skies tonight. We're turning cooler. Watch out for a little bit of patchy fog as we dip down to 66 for the overnight low. Here we go. Sunshine, 83. I think this is the bigger number. Overnight lows down to 60. Oh, it's going to feel so good. Maybe a little jacket weather. 81 on Sunday. Into next week we go in the 80s. It is a beautiful week of weather. Jasmine, pick a number. Which one do you like? 1 through 7 all look good, don't they?
Yes, I love them all.
All right, will you be wearing a jacket at night for 60 degrees?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, probably.
Probably will.
How about you?
Maybe a sweatshirt.
Okay. Okay. We're staying on top of the severe weather tonight. You know, a lot of aftermath we're looking at over the next half hour.
Which other parts of central PA saw damage and flooding, including a campground that had to be evacuated? Stay with us.
It's a CBS 21 weather-worn day as central Pennsylvania faces major damage and flooded roads and creeks as well after some heavy storms across the region. Now, this is a live look at Harrisburg right now, and you can see trees are down. Several people across PA are having to evacuate from flooding. Take a look at this, the scene at the Conewago campground in Adams County. This is what it looked like earlier, that excavator right under there. Emergency crews on scene as well. Several campers and their pets needed to escape the harsh conditions. Officials say so far no one was hurt. TJ?
Overnight storms caused the roof of this church in Harrisburg to blow right off. What the church has to do now in the one area not impacted in the church.
Live from central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News at 6.
I'm Joel D. Smith, and right now at 6 o'clock, so many in our community are cleaning up after the remnants of Debby. The storm has moved on, but many in our region still have a lot of work to do as the rain continues to fall.
This is devastating. Yes, this is devastating.
Devastation from one end of our viewing area to the other. It started with a massive flooding in York and Adams County, going into and then destroying people's homes. Moving up through Cumberland and Dauphin counties, leaving a path of destruction behind in the city of Harrisburg as well. Skyview 21 showing you what things look like tonight along Derry Street. Even throwing this trampoline into a tree. We are taking you there live tonight and to many other spots where even though the storm is over, the story is just beginning. Thank you for joining us on CBS 21 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Jasmine Brooks. You can see our team of reporters are out in the field tonight covering the aftermath of this storm. We're going to kick things off now with Joel D. Smith anchoring our team coverage live in Harrisburg tonight.
Yeah, Jasmine, so many people here in recovery mode right now. And it's a shame because when you come out here, you see something, you go, that's pretty bad. But then you move on and it gets worse. This home right here, a lot of damage. You can see just how many trees, the branches all came down and had to get cut and just moved away. The first stage of recovery is moving the things out of the way, all that debris, so then you can see how much damage there really is, whether it's to your roof or windows or things like that. And like I said, it looks terrible right here with so much damage on that roof. And the garage is an awning in the back as well. But then you see something you don't see every day. This makes you think a tornado came through here. That is a trampoline with a huge puncture wound through it from the branch below. That has been here for hours, and no rush to take that down at this point as people have other priorities as we speak. The indiscriminate part of this was what was so weird. One side of the street can be just damaged severely, trees down all over the place. The other side of the street, hey, not too bad. And that is where some feel fortunate and some don't. In some of this neighborhood, one side of the street has power. The other side, it will take till tomorrow to give them a chance to come back in time. I'll take a look one more time here as water continues to rush down from here. But we got to take a look at the rest of the area as well and see what's happening. TJ Anthony is also in Harrisburg. He's checking out some damage to a big structure. We're talking about a church. TJ.
Yeah, Joel D, it's truly unbelievable what these storms overnight did to Brethren Church of Christ in Harrisburg. Just take a look. The roof is now on the ground here in the parking lot. Parts of the roof even flew into a neighbor's yard right over there. Now, if you look even on that roof, you can see a large chunk of that roof is pretty exposed. Now, it started raining maybe about 10 minutes ago, and so that rain is getting inside the building. There's no tarp, there's no covering, keeping any water from getting inside. So that's causing water damage now inside the building as well. Now, the senior pastor at the church, he tells me they're not sure how structurally safe the building is for people to be in. Now, they're waiting on someone to come and assess all the damage and to see for sure if they can even hold their weekend services. The pastor is sure, though, that the food pantry, the blood drives, and the medical clinic that they have monthly, that will all have to be put on hold.
A lot of water coming in from the ceiling and just flooding the floor. A lot of water starting to come up from the ground.
And they had to also cut gas and power to the building as well, and the office equipment and also the classrooms. Those are also damaged as well. So as you can see, the church community here, they're just really trying to pick up the pieces right now. But for now, live in Harrisburg, TJ Anthony, CBS 21 News. Joel D, back to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, TJ. The recovery can be so complicated. You just heard so many things that they have to go through at a church like that. As for the people dealing with flooding, they have a whole different set of problems. For that part of the story, let's head to Elise Person, who's covering that in Adams County.
Hi, Joel D. What is behind me is the Conewago Creek in Adams County, East Berlin, and somebody let us come into their driveway, which is actually where I'm standing, if you can believe it. This, what you're looking at, is people's backyards. In the distance, you can see the swift moving water. That's actually the creek that has seeped into people's backyards. I spoke with some neighbors. They told me it took 35 minutes of rain this morning to have their backyards completely covered. But some said, hey, we live along the creek. This happens sometimes. We do see floodwaters. But I spoke with one woman who just moved to the area last year, and she says she's lost everything and is completely devastated. Take a listen.
When I left my home, it was 6 inches from coming into my home. My campers are flooded, everything. All my stuff is just floating down the creek. All of it.
And you can see, I mean, in the distance, that's a tire swing in someone's backyard that is just covered with water. And as people continue to pick up the pieces, they say they're really just waiting for the water to recede before they can begin to, you know, kind of pick up the pieces. But for now, I'll send it back out to you, Joel D.
Thanks a lot, Elise, giving us a feel for how things look in that part of our area. But there's some other parts that are thinking about flooding and some high water already happening. Maxine Rose covering that part of the story. Maxine.
Yeah, Joel D, we've been out here in Cumberland County at the Yellow Breaches for about 2 hours now. This water really not slowing down. Now, throughout our time out here, we've seen some people come in and out. We see some people over there. Hi. They're all coming out here to really look at the water, how fast moving this water is, really just astonished by that. Now, we also spoke to someone else today, a man who was out here fishing, and we asked him how he keeps safe as this high water continues. Listen to what he had to say.
When water gets up like this, stay out of the streams and the creeks. You can see from the debris in the creek, as it's going over, it's just rolling in that backwash current. It doesn't go anywhere. So it's a good safety lesson to learn that, you know, stay out of the creeks and rivers when things start to get this high.
All right, and what you just heard just there, that was also the PA American Water production supervisor. He was out here just watching, monitoring it. But the man that we spoke to who was out here fishing. He said that he was having to be really careful, just make sure that he's holding onto the railing if he gets really close. And also, it's not necessarily a great day to go fishing. He had no luck out here today, but again, people are out here looking. And for now, I'll send it back to you, Joel D.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks to all of our crews out there giving us a safe way to look at all this damage that's happening. And we're going to continue to walk around this neighborhood as well and give you a feel for the different types of damage that's out here. For now, though, Jasmine, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel D. You know, we're getting a closer look at the damage from other parts of the state as well. These images coming from Tioga County. That's about 2.5 hours northwest of Scranton. You can see roads washed out by heavy rain, a lot of destruction there. The CBS affiliate covering that area says dozens of roads are closed and the town of Westfield needed to be evacuated. Here are some more. This is from Dauphin County. This warehouse nearly destroyed in Swatara Township. Meanwhile, the Dover Township Fire Department in York County hit the water to try and rescue people from their homes. Those crews rescued at least 14 adults and 5 kids. Everyone got out safe. No one was hurt. The crews also responded to multiple structure collapses and swift water-related calls. Tom?
Hey, thanks, Jasmine. Thank goodness for our first responders, the people that just give everything, go right into the dangerous area. So thank you so much for helping out. Great news from the weather department. The last of the rain showers are pushing through. No official watches or warnings right now. The flood watch is off to the east, and the area shaded in green here. That is a tornado watch as you get into the yellow. So that's New York and into New England. So what we've got left are just a few light rain showers passing through. You'll see those indicated right in here. So moving through Dauphin County, portions of York County, and then that's the last of it. And we sit and wait for this gorgeous air to move in. In the meantime, this is what has accumulated. You don't need a map to tell you where the heaviest rain fell. Look at this, right down the gut as you work your way from Hanover up through Dover, Harrisburg, Millersville. That indicates very heavy rain, 4, 5, 6, even 7 inches of rain. And that is why we've had the flooding. All right, comfy weekend is on the way. Still a bit humid tonight. We're in the mid 60s, but by tomorrow that humidity drops. Sunshine and 83. It will feel amazing. Cool tomorrow night. Sunday, lots of sunshine and 81. So super weekend on the way. Remember, you can stay ahead of the storms by downloading that free CBS 21 weather app. Just scan the QR code on your screen, or you'll find it right there in your phone's app store by searching CBS 21 WX. Our weather app is sponsored by PSECU. Jasmine, back to you.
Coming up, new details stemming from a former York City officer accused of rape. Who else officers believe could be involved? Plus, our live weather warn day coverage continues. We're going to take you back to the damage people continue to clean up in Harrisburg. A local church damaged as well. We'll be right back. New tonight, the girlfriend of a former York City police officer accused of rape is facing charges of her own. The officer in question is Steve Cugini, who is being charged after the rape of a 13-month-old child. Now, officers say that Brianna Schumann is charged with endangering the welfare of that child. Police documents say that Schumann knew about the child's injuries, citing multiple text messages, but did not seek medical care right away. Cugini still claims that the child's injuries were caused by the family dog. Still ahead, many attractions across Central PA are closed due to the weather damage. So we're hearing from Midtown Cinema about the damage they face and how long it will take to rebuild.
And we're tracking the last of any rain showers pushing through Central PA. And as we go to break, look at this, what Debbie left behind. This tree picking up and pulling on the curbing there and maybe the sidewalk as well. Just some massive damage. Your first warning forecast straight ahead.
A staple of Midtown Harrisburg will be closed for the next several weeks due to the weather damage. The team at Midtown Cinema says the theater has suffered significant water damage early this morning and will need to stay closed to clean up. Theater management says that everyone who has tickets to planned showings will be contacted soon. The independent movie theater has been entertaining people in Harrisburg for the past 23 years.
We'll obviously know more as we continue to work with the restoration team, but we're going to be closed for at least a few weeks at this point, and we'll just keep our community updated as soon as we know anything.
Midtown Cinema is encouraging moviegoers to pay close attention to their website and social media pages for any updates. Our Weather Warn Day coverage continues as we continue to watch the weather aftermath of this severe weather. Now, our teams are spread across the region live tonight. Flooding in southern and York, Adams County, and then a local church heavily damaged as well right in Harrisburg. Joel D. Smith looking also in the city to see what's going on after, Debby went through here. Let's start with you, Joel D.
A lot of folks here talking about tornado. They believe that happened, and so much damage, it's easy to believe as well. I want to show you right here behind me, almost, this tree was ripped in half. It almost looks like what's left behind is maybe Mother Nature's fingernail coming out of the ground right there. Just beyond this, I was told, a home had its roof ripped off, and the people had to escape through the second floor to get out just in time. Everyone said they were woken up around 4:30 in the morning to the loud crashes. Most went to their basements, and then they came outside this morning and saw all this damage. Everything has to be cut up and moved around, but I'm going to draw your attention down here. This just gives you a feel for it. This is cement, of course. This is a sidewalk, and underneath, pulled up from that root, just no match for that sidewalk. And what everyone's been talking about is this trampoline. It came from one of these homes nearby. It just got rocketed into the air and then punctured through the bottom, and it still hangs up there, an exclamation point on all the damage on this street. Some of these homes, they will not have power again until sometime tomorrow, we're told. Others have their stuff just reestablished and reconnected within the last few hours as well. So it depends on what side of the street you're on. One last moment I want to show you over here on this side of the street. The reason people think it's a tornado, it was indiscriminate as to where it went. Gets the trees on this side, but that one in the middle is fine. And these are old trees. They've been here for a long time, and so many came down. At this point, we're going to take a look at some of the other areas of our region, how they were affected. Let's talk about a church that was hit pretty hard. TJ Anthony has that story.
Yeah, Joel D. So right now we are along Dairy Street, and earlier I was able to give you a tighter shot of that church and just the damage to the roof. And I told you about how part of the roof actually went across the street and landed on the sidewalk here. So just look behind me so you can see the damage to the roof right there. It landed on the sidewalk. Even parts of the roof landed in someone's yard. And if you look even past there, then you can see tree branches are snapped. You can see this damage, it impacted homes right up and down the street. I'm told the church had to cut power, it had to cut gas as well. Programs are now starting to close down because of the damage. And also businesses were impacted as well. That brings me to Ms. Chandra. She is the manager at Rookies. Talk about how your business actually had to close for hours because of these storms.
Well, our business had to close because we had no power. We had no internet or anything to be able to take our orders, our online orders, our phone orders and everything like that. So we did lose out on a lot of revenue. And
then not only that, but you all are actually still impacted by what's going on right now. How is that?
Yes, we're still impacted. Like I said, we have no Wi-Fi. So what about these people that call in or want to do orders online? We don't have it to give them. So everyone has to come in, and order.
And about how much money do you think you all are missing out on?
Hundreds to thousands of dollars.
And then Friday night's a big night for you all, right?
It is a big night because we have a live DJ that we can't have tonight or anything because of the impact.
Yeah. So as you all can see, it's not just the church that's impacted. It's a lot of businesses up and down Dairy Street as well. But let's go ahead and see what's going on where Elise is in Adams County. Elise, I'm sending it over to you.
Hi, thanks so much, TJ. Well, I'm here in Adams County, basically standing in someone's backyard and the Conewago Creek at the same exact time. You can take a look behind me here. I mean, this is people's backyards. Pretty devastating. And those are some, RV trailers you can see in the distance. Those are some chairs that people would sit out on. It was a really surreal sight when we pulled up earlier around noon, where people were just taking what they could and taking it to the streets just to kind of save what they have. I'm talking pets. Some people had chickens, dogs, children holding their parents' hands, really just trying to get away from the creek that was coming up so fast. One neighbor told us it took only about 35 minutes for the creek to get from where it's streaming and flowing quickly towards the back end of the screen back to these people's neighborhoods. So this has really been something that people have been dealing with throughout the day. They're going to continue to deal with the ramifications of this. I'm told they're getting ready to clean up a lot of mud. But in the last hour and a half or so, we saw a strong storm come in, and now it's sunny as ever over here in Adams County. So we're going to send it over to Tom Russell to tell us a little bit more about what's going on across the area.
Yeah, that last rain shower is just kind of insult to injury. It's the last of the rain, though, Elise. So tell everybody there that we are dry drying things out, and there is nothing worse than cleaning up from a flood. All that mud is just over everything. Things have to dry out. It's just awful. All right, one of the areas that we got to be really careful around is the Yellow Breeches Creek. This is measured near Camp Hill, and of course you saw Maxine showing us how swift that water is moving. It is starting to crest now, just shy of 10 feet at 9.8. So it's going to be running very high as we start the weekend, but cresting now at just shy of 10 feet. Flood stage is 7, so that can cause some problems along the creek. As far as the Susquehanna River, remember the large bodies of water, they lag behind as far as their crest goes. So we're at 6 feet now, headed towards 15 feet, and flood stage is 17 feet. So staying below flood stage, but still very, very high. Let's give you some good news here. Dew points have been very high. That's that muggy air, but look what's happening to the west. Dew point has dropped to 62 in Johnstown, 72 for us. What that says is that cooler, drier air is moving in. It's going to feel amazing this weekend. Just need to get rid of the last of the rain showers. You see some of those passing through. Sunshine on the west shore, but on the east shore, still dealing with showers down towards York. Here's Jacobus. Some light rain showers pushing through. Rain showers in portions of Dauphin County, now into Lebanon County, bearing down on Annville as we speak. Here's a couple of trackers here for you. Headed towards Lebanon City at 6:35, North Cornwall just before 7, and then over towards Manheim and Lancaster areas just after 7. Possible tornado. This is me drawing this. This is not the National Weather Service, but all that damage that you saw where Joel D was, basically from the southern point of Harrisburg, about 19th Street, through Bellevue Park, and then up to about her and maybe 28th Street as you work your way to the north. This is Bellevue Park, so right smack in the middle there is where you saw all that tree damage, and you saw that trampoline up high in the tree there as well. There goes the worst of the storm well into New England, off to our east, so we're wrapping things up and improving. And how about this for an August weather map? August, mind you, all these 70s all the way down to Memphis is comfortable. Some heat here in the southeast, no doubt, but much, much cooler and much more comfortable as we drop the humidity this weekend. Let's get the weekend started. Clearing skies, turning cooler. Watch out for some patchy fog. 66 for the overnight low. Are you ready for this? Sunshine and 83. I think the bigger story is going to be at night as we dip down to 60. And you're going, where's the jacket? Where is it? 81 and sunshine on Sunday, keeping that low humidity all the way into next week. Jasmine, that is a nice 7-day forecast.
It sure is, Tom.
That's what we need after a day like today.
I know, and with the worst of Debbie really moving out of central PA, we want to take one last look across the region.
So we're looking at the areas that got hit the hardest with the help of Skyview 21.
And don't forget, you can watch CBS 21 News for free anytime on Amazon Fire TV channels by searching CBS 21. Today has been a disruptive day for people across central PA, from a potential tornado throwing things across the streets of Harrisburg to flooding in parts of southern Adams and York County. Skyview 21 has been up throughout the day showing us the destruction.
Yeah, we wanted to share these pictures with you. These are just some of the views showing that damage. A short storm hitting at one time, causing a lot of the serious destruction that you saw there in the Bellevue Park neighborhood. And look at this. This is along Dairy Street in Harrisburg. Unfortunately, people will be cleaning up for weeks, potentially months to come. And that's the thing about flooding and this kind of destruction, Jasmine. It just takes months to get things in order. You got to get your insurance in order, and then you have to physically build everything back. And my heart just breaks for these folks, because there's nothing worse than having to build back from damage, because you look back and you're like, wow, it took a whole year just to get back to where we were sometimes.
Yeah, the storm may be over, but the stories are just starting. We spoke to one woman who literally saw her stuff floating down the street. And then, you know, we have the trampoline up in the air, up in the sky.
That was crazy.
How do you get it out of the tree? I don't even know.
I don't know, but this is a chance to be a great neighbor. So help out where you can, do the best you can, because this is a chance to.
That's a good
really
point, Tom. That's
yeah,
a good
do your
point.
thing. All right, lots of sunshine this weekend to dry things out. It will be on the cool side as we dip down to 60 at night, Jasmine. It feels like fall.
I love it.
Is that Santa I see?
Okay, well, we're going to go now. So thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next.
Have a great night. We'll see you at 10 and 11.